Welcome back. Well, Ismail Ahmed joins us this time. He's also a legal practitioner and the chairman of APYF. Thank you for coming on this morning. And looking at this conference, I mean, we've seen the APC giving their perspective on this matter, saying, look, count us out. Right. But we've seen different groups also saying, look, we don't even need politicians to be part of this fray. And the last one just said, look, anyone who will even come for this conference, don't go for any elective office in the next 10 years. So already you have different shades of opinion. But do you even see this conference holding in the first place? Do you think we should have it?
I don't think we should have it. I think I support the position of my party entirely, but that's on the one side. Personally, I think this government has made a reputation out of creating unnecessary committees, about 70 committees so far in the last 3 years, and nothing has happened out of it.
But late President Goodluck said that's how government works. You have to set up committees. And
yeah, just like saying that the Odua Gate, there's a woman that was 2 bulletproof cars was bought for her. It's either it is bought or not. What is going on? The committee has to be set up again, and it goes on and on and on. So where do you draw the line? Where does this stop? Where does the government start implementing all these reports, the Oronsai report, the Rubadu report? There are a lot of reports out there, so I don't think it's diversionary. I think it's
not peculiar to federal government. State governments have their own version. They have lots of committees.
It doesn't matter. First of all, I don't think you can legislate conversation. If this is a national dialogue, it is going on every day in kitchen tables and parlors of different people and in schools. And I just came out from National Leadership Initiative Future Leaders Seminar for the last 3 years, for the last 3 days in Epehia Resort, and that's all we've been talking about. So conversation has been going on in this country for quite a while.
Exactly.
You cannot legislate conversation through an administrative fiat.
The president says, I mean, I'm trying to remember his words now, but he says, let's give it direction. He acknowledges the fact that conversation has been going on. There's been all sorts of talk. But he's saying, let's give it direction. Let's formalize it. You know, let's make something of it. We can say we've had one of the things that journalists don't like to cover is conferences, because it will seem that it's always talk, and no action is taken. So let's do something that would finally bring something concrete.
What is going to be different about this one or the last one that the Obasanjo administration did?
Well, this is under a different administration, at least.
That's different. But the same conference, right?
No, that's not
possibly.
It's not Constituent Assembly yet. It's not.
No, it wasn't Constituent Assembly under Obasanjo administration either. It was a conference. It was a national conference. It was supposed to be a dialogue, and it went on. It was a jamboree. A lot of money was spent, a lot of time and a lot of time was wasted, and nothing came out of it.
Yeah, but after that, you had some members of the APC now who also kept on saying, "We need a conference." Then this one comes, and no, we don't trust the intention of this.
Yeah, that's what they said. It's not as if they are running away from the idea of having a dialogue.
Are they playing politics with this?
No, no. Is the president playing politics with this?
In fact, that is why people were a little bit worried when your own party leader, then Shuaji Tinubu, did say he was going to consult with his party. And people said, wait a minute, this is not a party affair. It's something
politicians are part of Nigerians, aren't they?
It's something that has to do with the ethnic nationalities. But the way it is going looks to me that it is a party affair after all. We have this here. I'll just read this quickly and merge it with what I'm asking. It is from OKZ. He's saying, can we get the opinion of ordinary Nigerians on the proposed national dialogue? I'm getting sick of the elites. So it looks to me that those talking already are not even the grassroots.
I'm an ordinary Nigerian, I'm a grassroots, and my opinion is I don't want it. Does that satisfy him?
But perhaps it means the other Nigerian who is not in politics. Maybe that will help him better.
Well, politics is the culture, actually.
You know, there's something that's more, peculiar to this conversation we're having, and that's the fact that we're talking to somebody who's much younger, someone who definitely has more years, God willing.
That's right.
In the political space.
Right.
You understand? More young people. Are we happy with the way our country currently is?
Absolutely not.
Do we agree that we should speak about it?
The young people?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Why do you think that we shouldn't seize this particular opportunity being presented to us?
Among all the people that the president has put up right now as members of the committee to go for the consultation or whatever they call it, is there any young person in it?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay,
But
so that tells you one thing.
it
It's not
tells us
about
one
young
thing,
people.
but it doesn't preclude the fact that young people can actually be consulted on this particular matter and indicate interest in being included in the final dialogue. Remember, this is just an advisory committee, right?
So I think it's basically simple, right? You're looking at it from 2, 3, 4, 5 different perspectives. One, Salah mentioned that it was supposed to be a dialogue between ethnic nationalities. Now you're talking about generations. And then there are politicians as well, in the civil society, you know, the religious elites and the religious whatever. So where do you draw the line? Who represents who and in what capacity? How do they get elected? Who gets represented?
These are all
Who
the
do you get
questions.
sent?
These are all the questions that we will still ask, whether or not we doubted or we trusted the intentions of the president.
But I think the way we are going, I think you're trying to put a notion as if either us or my party or so many other people that were against this very pronouncement on the 1st of October are against dialogue. No,
No. I'm not painting that picture. In fact, I'm trying my best to remove that because you have said that you're speaking personally as an ordinary Nigerian.
Exactly.
And I'm interested in the fact that you're a young person.
Yes.
And I'm saying, you know, let's take this dialogue, let's take this conversation from that particular perspective. That's what I'm saying. And you have said that you are interested in dialogue. You think that young people should speak, be a part of the conversation.
Exactly.
But for some reason, you have your reservations about, you know...
About the timing and the
Okay.
scope of it.
The
About the
timing.
timing, yes, about the timing of this national conference.
What's wrong with the timing for you?
It's too close to election. It's too diversionary. We have too many problems in front of us, and I think if it had started way back, if the president had run on it, for example, in 2011 when he was running for office, just like he promised he was going to build an airport in every city, in every capital city. I don't know how people even believe that, but that was what he said. If he had run on it and said, okay, fine, you know what, part of my agenda, part of my transformation agenda is that I want to make sure that, that there's a national dialogue about where we're going as a country. All the ethnic nationalities, all the religions, and all the generations, different generations, come, sit down, and have a conversation about the direction of the country. If he had run on that, and he had the mandate of the people by getting elected in 2011. The moment he gets on board, he said, okay, fine. Everyone come on board. Let's see how we can all do this. Let it not be an administrative fiat. National Assembly, this is what I want to do. Put it in the budget and let them legislate and debate on it in the National Assembly. Because at the end of the day, like he said, even if there is a conference, it is still going to come back to the National Assembly for final verification.
Do you have a problem with that?
What?
That part of it, it going back to the National Assembly for verification?
I think we are running a constitutional democracy. A president cannot do as he pleases, even though most times he does. But in this case, he can. So it will still have to go back to the National Assembly. And then it boils to the question, what is the point? We have 360 members in the House of Reps and 109 senators representing different constituencies. And I'm sure every religion or every ethnic group has one member or another that is in the National Assembly.
What would have been the constitution of your own ideal conference? Would you also have seen a situation whereby it would have gone back to the National Assembly? In that case, we will definitely ask them what would be the point of the dialogue. Would you...
If you're asking me, mine is a bit too radical.
But tell us about it.
Probably not mainstream, but I would have loved a situation where it's not anything close to election. The timing is very important. It's
is it close to election?
Oh,
Election
yeah.
is 2015.
Yes, and we're in
this is
2013 October.
Yeah, but this is an advisory committee,
Yes.
and they've got 1 month to come up with recommendations.
Okay.
The conference hasn't started. So after 1 month, he could say, okay, well, since this is 2013, by 2014, election activities will start full swing. We could just hold on.
But you see, that's the point of all the problems that we have in this country, of all the ineptitude and inefficiency and the corruption. Look at what we're talking about. National conference. You and I, the last guest, you spoke to him about it. You're talking to me about it, and he hasn't even started. So when it does start, imagine what's going to happen.
Yeah, but if the committee has 1 month.
Yes.
And
for the next 1 month, that's all you're going to be talking about. So once the conference starts, it's going to be another 6 months of
but it's not starting yet.
talk.
It's not starting yet. Just
yes, but when it does
recommendations. That's all advisory. That's all this committee is about.
That's what I'm
So
talking about.
the committee. After 1 month, okay, hold on. Let's get the elections over and done with. We don't even know what the committee will recommend.
That's you talking, no President Jonathan. He just said that the committee has 1 month. Why the rush?
1 month is a rush.
Yeah, why the rush? Why the rush of setting up the committee and then giving them 1 month, a very short time span to come up with recommendations, and then what happens? And then he sits on it for another 6 months or after 2015?
But
you think it's possible?
You said, I mean, you have a problem with timing. It's too close to elections.
It's too close to elections.
The committee is already started.
Let it start anytime after 2015, hopefully when we have a new government.
And you think that'll be okay?
Hopefully.
Hey guys, sorry about that. But just going to ask you, you were telling us about your ideal national conference.
Yes.
You mentioned time.
My ideal national, I think dialogue is very important. I think people need to talk about where...
What would you call it?
It doesn't matter. The nomenclature doesn't matter of how you call it. But the timing, you see, I'm young, but I have been participating in politics for the last 10, 12 years. And I've come to understand something about politics and governance are two at variance. The subjectivity of politics, which is driven by personal interest, and the objectivity of governance, which is supposed to be for the general good, can hardly be found in one entity, in the name of a person. Those who can combine the two successfully are astronomically successful politicians and good governors.
Do we have them in this country?
Yes, we have Fashola, for example. We have Tinubu, we have Kwankwaso. I'm not a PDP guy, but he seems to be an excellent person in terms of his, driving his politics and governing well. We have a couple of few examples. Dr. Fahimi. So,
all APC so far.
Kwankwaso isn't one.
Yeah, but we know his position to the mainstream party.
But basically what I'm trying to say is the critical element that you need in governance is trust, and people seem not to get it. When a leader speaks to people, leaders have followers. They don't rule over people. You inspire in your follower the need and the zeal to follow you, and that comes